everyone, what's up? It's Emma and welcome back to a new episode of Behind Hollywood. Today I sat down with an incredible artist named Clausius. We kind of sat down and spoke about authenticity and people in the music industry who try to be other people instead of being themselves and all stuff like that, and it was a really, really cool conversation, so I recommend you continue watching. And yeah. To start off, could you start by introducing yourself, kind of talk about your journey as an artist so far, how you got started in music, and all that kind of fun stuff?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Holly Clausius. I'm an artist here in Toronto. I'm originally from a small town called Exeter in Ontario, and I moved here in 2015 actually to go to school for acting, but ended up kind of getting more into the music and open mic scene. And eventually, once I graduated, doing music like full time. So my style, I guess, would be more like indie folk with hints of like pop and soul. And right now, I'm kind of like experimenting with different genre and trying to build like a band. So yeah.
I love that. How was the transition from like acting to music?
Um, I think they go hand in hand. I really do think like my acting chops like help create not a persona, but like help me on stage have confidence and we're all storytellers, right? So just telling it in different mediums.
Yeah, exactly. So do you still do acting alongside your music?
Yeah, I think music is like the forefront right now, but
Okay.
definitely going for any auditions I can and doing that on the side.
Okay. Also, side note, your makeup, I'm obsessed with it. I love
Thank you.
it.
Thank you. I had fun with it today.
It's so fun. I'm obsessed with it. First thing I noticed. Um, so I mentioned that we're going to kind of talk about authenticity and originality, that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
Um, so how would you say that your authenticity and kind of like your character to put it, kind of play a role in your journey so far as an artist, as well as kind of your success, I guess?
Mhm. Yeah, I think authenticity is really important, especially as like a musical artist, because you can kind of get lost, like especially in the trend kind of like era that we're in right now, and blend in with a lot of other people. But for me, I've always felt like staying authentic to who I am and making music that I'm like proud of and that comes from my heart is really important. And it's kind of, I think, made me stand out a little bit than maybe some other artists that come and go. But yeah.
Yeah, love to hear it. So do you find that the industry like kind of puts these pressures in place for artists to kind of morph into this like copy paste, everyone kind of fits into these kind of categories? Do you feel like that kind of is a thing?
Yeah, I definitely think it's a thing, especially with, I want to say TikTok is one of those things that because there are these viral moments and stars like Olivia Rodrigo that are just kind of coming out of that app, I do think that copy and paste is a thing. And it's harder for people, especially with our social media and everything, you're kind of told to be one way. So to go against the grain and be like your own person and have your own style and originality is a lot tougher, I think, nowadays.
Yeah, so like it's pretty common that like I feel like a lot of people in the media talk about how artists kind of like lose themselves once
Mm-hmm.
they enter this public kind of world.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of your like musical journey has been like from what I can tell through like seeing you on social media and like listening to your music, a lot of it is kind of dependent on your originality and how you kind of stand out from everybody else that's in that kind of realm. So like how would you say that you maintain this originality and kind of don't fall into these tracks basically?
Yeah, it's kind of a tough question because I think I've always been very, especially with fashion and style and makeup and all that stuff, known what I like and what I don't like. And I've never really let, well, that's hard to say, but I've never really let someone sway me to kind of go a different way with that because it's what I feel comfortable in. And I kind of encourage other people that are like, if they're struggling to find their authenticity and originality, is just try different things. That's what I've been doing since high school. And I know it's hard to say don't care what other people think, but you kind of have to put yourself first and what makes you happy or make you feel like yourself, you know?
Yeah, I agree. That's really good points. But do you ever feel like, do you ever have that like kind of temptation to be like, oh, maybe if I do this one thing that I see everyone else doing, even though it's not really me, it might
Yeah,
help?
that is something, especially again, I'm gonna mention TikTok, but like the trends and like wanting to just, go viral and get as many fans as possible, it's very tempting to like do the silly trend or do whatever's popular, but it can feel very almost like tacky and not like who I am. So I don't know. I will admit I've done some trends, but I've always think at the root I'm sticking to who I am and I'm doing those trends like as Holly or making a cover like Hollywood,
Yeah. What advice would you give to someone who's kind of like getting their foot in the door with music in terms of like keeping that passion there without kind of falling into these habits where you're like, oh, we need to like rely
Mhm.
on these views, basically, rely on these streams to kind of stay true to themselves?
I think it's good to like find something to ground yourself when you're starting off with music, and like I said, trying different things, and going to open mics, kind of building a community with music. Because once you have that community, it will be a lot harder for you to kind of get lost and feel like you're alone in this like huge industry, So find those connections, and find what grounds you and what is important to you in music.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. Um, that was actually my last question. Super, super quick. But to kind of wrap everything up, you want to like plug yourself, where people can find your music, what they can expect finding your music, anything that you have coming up, stuff like that. You
Sure,
want to say?
yeah. You can find me at Holly Clausius on all platforms. So that's Clausius. And yeah, I've got a lot of ideas brewing right now. I might be working on another EP, and lots of shows this summer. So if you're in Toronto, feel free to like check out my website or Instagram, and I'll keep everyone posted on where I'm playing.
Thank you guys so much for watching this, and thanks again, Holly, for doing this. I had an incredible time speaking with you. Before you guys go, make sure you subscribe because so many crazy things are happening with Behind Hollywood super soon. Also, make sure to check out Holly's social medias. I will link them all in the description box along with Behind Hollywood social media as well, because we're on Instagram and TikTok now, and some crazy things are happening on both of those platforms that you will not want to miss. It's kind of like an exclusive behind the scenes look to Behind Hollywood, and you would love it. Just saying. But yeah, I will see you guys very soon for some new Behind Hollywood content.